Your soul wasn't made for microwave dinners. It was designed for a slow-cooked feast. Your spirit wasn't created for swipe-right instant gratification, but for a love that actually grows. We've talked before about how digital dating messes with our heads. Now let's talk about how to fix it. And no, this isn't another just delete all your apps sermon. It's about something deeper, rewiring what you actually want. When you develop a real taste for meaningful covenant love, the kind rooted in commitment and mutual growth, the superficial stuff just stops being tempting. Here's the brutal truth. If you stay stuck in the cycle of superficial connections, you'll keep attracting superficial people. You attract what you are. But when you become a person of real depth, you'll start recognizing and attracting that same depth in others. This isn't just feel-good positive thinking. It's actually biblical. Galatians 6:7 talks about sowing and reaping. You have to plant seeds of genuine connection if you want to harvest a real relationship. So here's the roadmap. 3 habits that will fundamentally change how you connect. Habit 1. Cultivate slow drip. Intimacy. Real intimacy doesn't happen in grand romantic gestures. It's more like building a mosaic, one tiny piece at a time. A shared laugh here, a vulnerable moment there, a small act of service. By themselves, these moments seem like nothing, but over time, they create something beautiful. I know you, and I am known by you. There's this verse in 1 Thessalonians that says, because we loved you so much, we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well. That's what slow drip intimacy is. Sharing the boring parts, the hard parts, the real parts of your life. Relationship researchers actually have a name for this, the Michelangelo phenomenon. In great relationships, partners sculpt each other through countless small, affirming interactions, helping each other become their best selves. It's the complete opposite of sliding into someone's DMs with, hey, you're cute. I once talked to a couple married for 40 years about their secret. You know what they said? It wasn't the big vacations or expensive gifts. It was the 20,000 cups of coffee together, talking about nothing. It was noticing when the other person was tired and doing the dishes without being asked. That's slow drip intimacy, the compound interest of relationships. But here's the thing. To actually show up for these small moments, you need a brain that isn't constantly craving the next dopamine hit. You need to be comfortable with quiet, which brings us to habit 2, practice joyful boredom. Think of your brain on social media like a jar of muddy water. Constant input keeps everything cloudy and stirred up. But when you let the jar just sit, when you allow yourself to be bored, the sediment settles, the water clears, and suddenly you can see clearly again. You can hear God's voice. You can even hear your own heart. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." In the original Hebrew, be still literally means to let go, sink down, stop striving. Real knowing happens in stillness. And neuroscience backs this up. When our brains are at rest, not focused on a task or scrolling through feeds, something called the default mode network activates. This is the part of your brain that handles self-reflection, problem solving, and creativity. Constant scrolling literally silences it, robbing you of clarity and genuine connection. I tried an experiment recently. I sat on a bench for 15 minutes with no phone. The first 5 minutes were torture, I'm not gonna lie. But by minute 10, I noticed birds singing. I had a breakthrough on a problem I'd been stuck on. and I felt actual peace. Not boredom, not anxiety, just stillness and joy. In fact, that quiet moment is what gave me the idea for this whole video series. But habit 3, become a creator, not a consumer. Here's something to think about. On social media, you're not the customer. You're the product. Your attention is what they're selling. But in God's kingdom, you're a co-creator with Christ, designed to build, make things, and bring order from chaos. A consumer asks, what can I get? A creator asks, what can I build? That shift in mindset changes everything. Ephesians 2:10 says, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. The Greek word for handiwork is poema. It means masterpiece, poetry, work of art. Your life is meant to be active, not passive. Psychology confirms this too. Self-determination. Theory shows that humans thrive when we have 3 things: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Creating something, whether it's a meal, a painting, or a plan, gives you all 3. Scrolling gives you none. It just makes you passive. There's a woman in our community who stopped looking for a partner on dating apps and started a small baking business instead. Her whole energy changed. She became joyful, confident, alive. And you know what? She met an amazing guy, not on an app, but at the local farmer's market. She became a creator, and she attracted a builder. Putting it all together, think of these 3 habits working together. Slow drip intimacy builds real bonds. Joyful boredom clears the noise so you can actually hear God and yourself. Creating instead of consuming makes you magnetic to people with purpose. You're no longer a victim of some algorithm. You're actively architecting your attention, your character, and your future love story. The apps didn't change. You did. Your assignment this week: pick one habit to practice intentionally. Slow drip. Have one phone-free, deep conversation with a spiritually mature friend or family member. Joyful boredom. Schedule 15 minutes of quiet. No phone, no podcast, no music. Just sit or walk. Creator. Make one tangible thing. Cook a meal, write in a journal, paint something, or plan a project. Just start with one. Let that be your anchor. Once you've got that going, the other habits will naturally follow. Here's the truth. You're not waiting for a relationship to start your life. You're building a life full of purpose and real connection, so that when a covenant partner comes along, they'll be a natural co-laborer in what you're already building. Your obedience and intentionality are what unlock the door God's already prepared. So which habit are you starting with? Drop a comment. Slow drip, joyful boredom, or creator. And let's hold each other accountable. If this resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. We're building a community that chooses depth over distraction, one person at a time.